A 99% of Rex drawings are scientifically inaccurate. Let's fix that. We begin not with art, but with paleontology's foundational evidence. The first step is grasping the true scale of the Tyrannosaurus rex. Skeletal morphology dictates posture. Balancing the massive skull is key. Why forget the vertical tail? The body must balance over the hips. Now that we understand posture, let's explore limb musculature. The powerful legs required immense muscle mass for propulsion. The famous tiny arms were surprisingly muscular for their size. Those two-fingered hands possessed significant gripping capability. Off and transitioning to the head, the defining feature demands careful scrutiny. The skull's massive fenestrae reduced weight without sacrificing structural integrity. And teeth were not fused teeth, they were continually replaced throughout life. Bite force estimates require modeling jaw musculature placement precisely. Sensory input matters. Olfactory senses were highly developed, suggesting scent tracking. Binocular vision provided depth perception crucial for a predator. Cranial endocasts inform us about relative brain size and function. Now that we understand the skeleton, let's explore the integumentary covering. Scales, feathers, or something in between. The evidence remains fragmented. Ontogenetic studies suggest juvenile forms might have possessed downy proto-feathers. Adult skin impressions favor large, scaly integument, especially on the torso. Musculature around the neck and shoulders must support immense predatory leverage. And could the presence of dermal structures along the back is plausible, but unconfirmed. But coloration is entirely speculative. We rely on modern analogs for hypothesis. We must sculpt the flesh over the bone structure observed previously. A deep torso indicates a massive digestive tract necessary for large prey intake. Avoid the chicken-like stance. The legs must position the creature ready for powerful strides. Observe how the weight settles primarily on the middle toe pads. The massive head requires significant muscle attachments here for tilting and turning. The final illustration must convey inherent mass and dynamic potential simultaneously. Now that we understand anatomy, let's explore dynamic illustration techniques. Lighting is crucial for selling the three-dimensional form on a two-dimensional surface. Utilize strong rim lighting to define the silhouette against a dark environment. Shadows must pool correctly beneath the massive feet and heavy torso. An environmental context grounds the creature in a plausible ecosystem. Using foreground elements enhances perceived depth in the final composition. The oral cavity requires dark shading to emphasize depth and potential danger. The eye placement confirms the anterior-facing predatory gaze. Ensure scale variation. Larger osteoderms on the back smaller scales near joints. And the overall silhouette must suggest immense kinetic energy held in reserve. An action poses require careful consideration of angular momentum and counterbalance. Flexing the digital clay demonstrates how stress deforms the surface layers realistically. The counterweight provided by the tail prevents a forward topple during high-speed turns. The lower jaw must integrate smoothly with the neck base, avoiding unnatural separation. To remember, even the thickest hide possesses underlying pneumatic bone structures. And adding subtle imperfections, scars or healed wounds, lends authenticity to the illustration. The nasal ridge structure often features subtle bumps or ridges in mature specimens. But consider the environment's impact, dust clinging to damp skin areas. And the keratinous sheath of the claws should taper smoothly, not abruptly. The footprint itself reveals ground pressure distribution and foot arch structure. And now that we understand detail application, let's finalize the scientific narrative. At every patch of skin, every muscle contour must trace back to verifiable data. Compare the outdated depictions with the evidence-based construction before you. But the illustrator becomes a detective, piecing together fragments of deep time. And the goal is not fantasy, but the most probable reconstruction of an ancient reality. Then respecting the data prevents the creation of mere artistic conjecture. But every element, down to the smallest scale, must contribute to the scientific narrative. But even the tail's terminus is shaped by biomechanical necessity, not aesthetics. This illustration reflects millions of years of evolutionary optimization for apex predation. The final portrait conveys an ancient intelligence derived from known neural geometry. A scientific illustration is the bridge between the fossil record and our imagination.